Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to a video I was never going to make, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like making it. It felt right making this video without a hat. Sorry, I just got off work, I'm tired, and I'm just like, fuck it, let's just throw the camera on and let's make a couple videos because I don't know how much time I got, so, things have been real busy. That's why I haven't posted in a couple weeks. I go to a wedding, I take a trip across Canada and shit, and working a lot, heavy hours and stuff, so, you know, whatever, life. But you know what? I'll always make time for YouTube. And I'm going to make a whole video now just talking about Glass Onion and completely shitting on it. I already kind of mentioned it before. I said in my overrated movies of 2022 that Glass Onion was one of the most overrated movies. I think it was too... Yeah, it's a cartoony murder mystery. Who done it, even though you know who done it. It's a Rian Johnson murder mystery, but no mystery, but you know. I'm going to just talk about how much I just think it's not an intelligent movie. I feel like this is a very egotistical movie. It is Rian Johnson thinking he is really clever and really smart, and the movie itself is very full of itself and thinks it is very clever, super cunning, and because the majority of people do really like it, most YouTubers and film critics put it at their top 10 of the best of the year. I'm here to just say I disagree. Not knocking anyone's opinion. If you love this movie, I'm not here to take that away from you, but I'm here to share my opinions of why I think this movie's overrated, and I don't think it's a smart movie. It's not as smart as it thinks it is, and I really think Rian Johnson's head is up his own ass, and his ego is, like, through the roof. But you know what? I'm not a Rian Johnson fan. The only Rian Johnson movie I really like is Looper, because that's the only movie I feel like he put a lot of effort into that. I think there's no ego into that film, and there's no shitty Rian Johnson humor, because I don't think Rian Johnson understands comedy. I'm going to just talk about that right away, actually. Let's just get the comedy out of the way. This movie tries very hard to be like Clue. The 1980s movie Clue is a very funny film. And the reason that movie is so funny is that the characters themselves aren't meant to be super funny. They're serious characters put in a very funny situation, and a lot of funny things happen to them. The characters themselves aren't cartoony, but the things that happen to them kind of get a little silly and cartoony and stuff, a little Scooby-Doo-esque and stuff. And that's why it's funny. It's very funny that these things are happening to these characters. Glass Onion does the opposite. The characters are goofy, but the situation is a very serious situation. And that can also work very well if written properly. Rian Johnson did not do that properly. But Clue took a lot of jokes and took time and effort. There was build up to a lot of jokes. There's no jokes for like 2 minutes, and it's building up to just one punchline, and it works, and it's funny. Glass Onion just basically says, let's say the most asinine things and hope one of these 100 things I'm saying is funny and someone will laugh at it. That is Rian Johnson comedy right there. Just saying a bunch of nonsense, and hopefully out of all that nonsense, there's a funny joke there. It's just like, kind of like a Hail Mary, just throw a bunch of stuff, throw a bunch of torpedoes, maybe one of them will hit the target. But that's not comedy. Comedy is clever. There's an art form to comedy, and Rian Johnson doesn't quite get that. He did that with Knives Out, and he did it in this movie. That's the difference. Like, this movie tries to be as clever and as funny as Clue, and it's not. It even tries to have the same sort of twists and turns as The Sting. Paul Newman, Robert Redford movie. Great movie. Another movie that has a much better sense of humor than Glass Onion. Rian Johnson borrows tropes from classic films, which is what all filmmakers do, but turns it into something more modern and, of course, less funny. Because he doesn't get comedy, I guess. The trick is comedy. So comedy, obviously, is subjective. Some people might watch this movie and think it's laugh out loud hilarious. I didn't. I found there was no effort put into any of the jokes whatsoever. For me. Just saying. Like, watch Hot Fuzz. That is my favorite comedy of all time. Every single joke, there's creativity, there's effort, there's just things that you've never seen before. Hot Fuzz is a movie that you have to watch like 10, 11 times to even get every single joke. Because there's so many jokes thrown even in the background, in the foreground, and just some of the dialogue that you just didn't get at first. That's a great comedy. Glass Onion is just a bunch of jackass people saying a bunch of jackass things, and hopefully you find that funny. Alright, let's talk about just now the movie. The characters, the movie, and the story, and how the entire film makes absolutely no sense. And apparently that's the point. I think what Rian Johnson did with this movie is the biggest cop-out. And that is like a rookie mistake in filmmaking. But it's a mistake that you can always get away with. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's ridiculous. And all you gotta say is, yes, that's the point. That's what I was going for. It's supposed to be dumb. It's supposed to not make sense. Biggest cop-out. And I know a lot of people, a lot of filmmakers use that bullshit. They use that scapegoat as, yeah, that's exactly what the point of the movie was. It's supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to not make sense. Yes, it's supposed... Yeah. And even though that's probably wasn't their intention, they're just like, yeah, that's right. See? Clever writer. Like... That's what Tommy Wiseau did when The Room came out. He thought The Room was a brilliant movie. Then after the years, he's like, oh yeah, it's parody movie. Ha 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 ha. Funny movie. I feel like everyone is taking the Tommy Wiseau approach and be like, that's exactly what I was going for. But that's what he does with this movie. Any coincidences, plot holes, and just idiotic stuff. Rian Johnson's like, that's the point. They're idiots. It's supposed to be stupid. Yes, I know. My cat interrupted me. She wants all the attention. Anyways, let's talk about why this movie is so stupid and doesn't make any sense. Storm, you want to take it from here? Okay. What do you think of the movie? Glass Onion? Good movie? Hey? Glass Onion? Did you like the movie? Tell it to the people. Alright, come on. Tell the people. Is Glass Onion a good movie? Hey, is Glass Onion a good movie? Alright, go way over there. Go over there. You're bothering me. This is a professional video, Storm. Anyways, let's get... What makes this movie just not work? And what makes it not make sense? Well, first off, the entire situation. So apparently it's about this guy named Miles, played by Edward Norton. He's like this billionaire guy and everything. He's a jackass dude. He buys all his friends. And basically he's hosting a murder mystery party at his own island with all his gadgets that don't exist, but again, supposed to be stupid. But he invites all these people to solve puzzles and stuff. But then he also invited his ex-partner. She also designed the company with him. I'll be getting to that. And then Detective, whatever the fuck his name is. Daniel Craig's character was Ben shit? I don't know. Ben and Jerry's? I don't know. Daniel Craig from Knives Out. He gets invited to the party, and Miles is like, oh, I didn't invite you. Okay, just stay. And then nothing happens, really. For the first, like, hour of the movie, nothing happens. And I guess this is supposed to be our character interactions and development, but you don't know any of the characters until the second half. So the first half is just hanging out with these characters on Miles' island, and everyone is an unlikable piece of shit. That's the point. And then the detective from Knives Out, he's just kind of there, being goofy, wearing, like, striped short shorts, and, oh, you guys aren't that intelligent. Oh, I solved that puzzle in 5 seconds. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Alright, so what's the big twist? What's this big story? Is Miles gonna die in his own party and stuff? No! It actually turns out Dave Bautista is the one that dies at the party. He gets poisoned. Or so you think. And then it flashes back, and then we find out what all of this is meant to be. So, his ex-partner who shows up at the party, Janelle Monáe's character, apparently she's dead. And the person who is there is her identical twin sister. Right away, that makes no sense. So Miles apparently killed his partner, Janelle Monáe's character. He killed her, Andy, I think her name was. He killed her. He, like, poisoned her or something. So when he's, like, surprised that she, like, comes to the murder mystery party, for one thing, why would he invite a dead person? Like, he killed her. He killed her. But then invited her to the party. Like, what? And then when she shows up, he doesn't at all question anything. Like, he's shocked, obviously. He's surprised. But he doesn't go talk to her and be like, you okay? Or, how the fuck are you alive? None of that is, like... This movie's supposed to be clever. Rian Johnson's supposed to be clever. But, like, he doesn't ask any questions of why she's alive. And also, the movie doesn't say that... Also, the movie never tells you that all these friends, did they know that Andy had an identical twin sister? Like, they don't ever answer that. I'm like, okay, these are all supposed to be her best friends, but they don't know she has a twin sister, and if they did know she had a twin sister, did none of them piece together that was the twin sister? Or even Miles, did he ever think, hey, maybe that's the twin sister, and maybe I should get her the fuck off my island? Or does she know? Like, he doesn't question any of it, really. I'm like, what? And everyone's like, well, that's boy, Miles is a dumb character and stuff. I'm like, no, that's just bad writing. Like, that's just bad writing. And apparently she's the one that invited the detective, Daniel Craig. She hired him to come on the island so he can solve everything and they could prove that Miles did it and killed her sister. So she invited the detective, Daniel Craig's character. The thing is about that plan, that whole plan could have backfired if Miles didn't let Daniel Craig on the island. Like, when Daniel Craig comes, he's like, I didn't invite you. He literally could have just said to Daniel Craig, get the fuck off my island. I didn't invite you. Leave. And then their plan goes to shit out. Their plan would go to complete shit. And, yeah. And, like, so the movie relies a lot on coincidences. Like, they're relying heavily that Miles is a dumbass. So he's just like, yeah, of course he's gonna let the detective on the island because Miles is stupid. He's a dum-dum. He's a big dum-dum. And of course he's gonna let the girl he thinks he killed stay on the island because he's really stupid. And I get he's not the most intelligent character. He's an unlikable jackass, and he's not the most intelligent guy. But he has to have a little bit of common sense to run a $1 billion corporation. Like, he does have a little bit of common sense. Like, that's just basic common... It's not even about intelligence. Like, maybe don't invite the woman you killed to your party and she shows up and you killed her. You don't suspect, like, hey, maybe that's not her. Like, and don't invite a don't keep a detective, apparently the world's greatest detective, on your island when you committed a murder. Like, and everyone's like, and again, Rian Johnson gets away with all this because he's like, because they're stupid. I'm like, no, that's just bad writing. It's really bad writing. And the thing is, how he kills Dave Bautista is actually not that stupid, actually. He knows he's allergic to something, and he puts it in his drink, and he has an anaphylactic reaction. That's actually not a bad way to kill Dave Bautista's character. But in the movie, Kate Upton's like, it's so dumb, it's brilliant. Then you got to the detective saying, no, it's just dumb. And the thing is, he says it's dumb, but none of them figured it out until the ending, so clearly it wasn't that dumb. And honestly, he would have gotten away with it too, so clearly it wasn't that dumb. But again, I feel like when you put characters who say a character is dumb, the audience believes it. Like, oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. And then we're all like, it is dumb. He is completely right. Like, we don't ever assume that Daniel Craig, maybe he's the dumb one. He is at times. He really is. Like, him in Knives Out, like, he's the I always find, like, he's known as the greatest detective, but in Knives Out, he couldn't figure anything out, and it was a very obvious twist, and he couldn't figure it out. But in this one, he's, like, a lot smarter in this movie, and he knows fucking everything. And I'm like, wow, it's not even the same character. He was a dumbass in the first one, but this one, he's, like, a genius and stuff. And he can't even play the game Among Us. A game 10-year-olds play, but he can't figure that out. Like, and just, like, I don't know, just, it's ridiculous. And then, also in the movie, Miles invented this thing, this, like, he calls it Clear. It's like a device that can just blow up. And why would he ever invent this? Like, and then he wants it greenlit and put in people's homes so they can light things up in their house. Even though the technology would kill everybody, like, just a little light blows up. Like, it's really dumb. Really stupid. But again, Rian Johnson, that's the point. So, by the ending of the movie, you find out that Janelle Monáe is the twin sister of Janelle Monáe, and there's even a scene where Miles shoots her. Oh my god, he shoots her, and a journal blocked the bullet. I don't know if you guys know anything about guns, but a journal can't stop a bullet. Like, an actual bullet. It would go through and kill you. Like, it's like, this is not, like, it really is a cartoon now. But, yeah, then they, like, her and Daniel Craig fake the death, and so they can get everyone in the room, and Miles can confess and everything, but there's no evidence to convict them, because there's no evidence that he killed anybody and stuff. So, the very ending of the movie, Janelle Monáe just breaks a bunch of glass, and then blows the whole Glass Onion up. So all the friends are in this, like, little base, and then Janelle Monáe blows it up with everybody inside. And this is the part I was like, huh? Like, everybody is in this top building at the end of the movie, and it blows up, and nobody gets hurt. And I know movies you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. I get it. But come on now, like, everyone just survives this explosion. And the thing is, nobody's hurt. There's not scratch on anyone. And not even from the explosion, but not even all the glass falling on them. Like, how is nobody hurt? Or how are you all still alive? I'm just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And then, the end of the movie, since she has no evidence against Miles, she burns the Mona Lisa. Because in the movie, he borrows the Mona Lisa. And she burns the Mona Lisa. And now he's like, oh, I'm ruined because the Mona Lisa is burned. I was supposed to be taking care of it. Even though she's the one. She burnt the Mona Lisa. So technically she would get charged for burning an art piece. Because she's the one that did it. So I don't know what he's complaining about. Like, and then just all the friends are just kind of like, yeah, Miles, we hate you now. We're all going to turn against you. Even though all of them are going to go to prison for racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder and corruption in the government and selling illegal things. They're all going to jail. But they're all like, let's all do the right thing. Even though we don't know why we're doing the right thing. Because they're all idiots and jackasses. Also, the whole time, this is another thing, like, the plans for the company were all written on this like table napkin. And the table napkin is the only evidence for Andy to prove Miles wrong, even though a table napkin is not enough evidence in a court of law, because anyone could write anything on a table napkin. Even if you put a date on it, you could put that date on any time. That is circumstantial. That is not how you win a courtroom case, and that is not proof. Unless you took a photo and you know the exact digital date that photo was taken. Like, having a napkin is not enough evidence to prove that you invented whatever the fuck you invented and stuff. So, but the thing is, apparently that was like all the evidence they needed was this table napkin, even though that is not real evidence. For some reason, Miles kept the table napkin. Why did he keep it? And then Janelle Monáe, the twin sister, is supposed to be the smart one. She like, holds the table napkin, and then Miles burns it. Like, why would you show that is your only evidence against him. You just show it in his face, and he's carrying a lighter. Of course he burns it. God, these characters are supposed to be smart. Like, oh my god, there's just so much dumb shit in this movie. I was like, well, I can't keep up. This movie's ridiculously stupid. It was like, even the characters are supposed to be smart, they're idiots. Like, there's just so much coincidences that happen, and just it doesn't make it. Nothing makes sense in this movie. It makes no sense. I'm just ranting now about a bunch of stuff. There's a lot more stuff that happens in this movie that just make absolutely no sense, and. Sorry, I had to get it all out. Just everyone's calling this movie like a masterpiece and best movie of the year. I don't see it, man. Like, really, watch it again. Like, it's not that good. It doesn't make sense. And the twist, it's Miles. Like, he's the bad guy. It's fucking obvious it's him. Like, and then the twin sister. That's just because I didn't see that coming. But that's still not a good twist because it doesn't make any sense. How could she be her sister? How can the friends not know that's not her? Even though, like, I'm a twin, but let's say identical twins. They're different people. They sound different. They even have little differences and stuff. They're different people. Like, how can you not know that's not her? Like, I don't know. And if Miles thought that was her, why is he keeping her on the island? Like, ridiculous. This movie was ridiculous. And there is there's politics. Like I'll get to. I know people don't like to hear this, but there is politics in the movie. Rian Johnson is left wing. Nothing wrong with that, but he is a left wing Democrat, and he does in every movie put right wing stuff in it. He's very anti like right wing, and it's in this movie. Like just simple things like when they all arrive on the island, you can tell. All the people wearing a mask are the smart characters, and people not wearing a mask are the right-wing conservatives, and they're jackasses, unlikable, or idiots. Because, again, during, what we just went through this past couple of years, people wore masks, people didn't wear masks. It's a subtle thing, but I'm like, I know what you're doing, and Dave Bautista's character is meant to be like people on the internet that are complaining and stuff, and men's rights activists like ABBA and Preach or The Critical Drinker. That's basically what Dave Bautista is, and it's him making fun of those. And even Miles is meant to be like Elon Musk and prove how stupid and idiotic and jackass Elon Musk is. And Elon Musk is not. He's a weird dude, and I don't agree with everything he says, but Elon Musk is not Miles. Like, come on. But you can tell he's very much making Miles Elon Musk. Like, there's a lot. And then, of course, like, one of the girls works for CNN. She talks about climate change, and if you're against it, you're a moron. There's a lot. There's politics in this movie. If you're an average moviegoer and you don't see it, that's fine. But if you know politics, you know there's a lot of politics in this movie. It's pretty cringy. Didn't ruin the movie for me. The bad story and shitty characters and just bad comedy ruined the movie for me, but the politics doesn't help. But anyways, that's my little rant on Glass Onion. I think I ranted too long. I need to go take a nap. What do you guys think of Glass Onion? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm high off my horse? Do you think, what are you talking about? This is a fun movie. Is it a movie that you can just turn your brain off and like don't worry about the problems and just have a good time with it? Maybe. Maybe I'm just old and bitter and annoyed and, I don't know, tired. Definitely tired. Holy shit. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like Glass Onion? It's okay if you do. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and join the dark side.